अच्छी बस Hey Kamilesh, how are you doing?
Sir. Doing good, sir.
Great, good to see you all. Okay, so first of all, first of all, I'll finish the code which what I was doing yesterday, and then I will do the marking of your homework, major homework, right? And before I will do that, I will also assign another homework, right? So let's see how does it go. So any input, any question, any suggestion? No question, no input, no suggestion. Okay, so let's start with it then. Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. So this is probably this is not your code. Uh, let me close it down. Rather, let me open your code first, and then let me close it down. So this is Web Programming 2020, and we are in Node 2 folder, and this is app.js folder we are looking at. So let me close this one, right? And yes, so what are we doing is, so let me change folder to to your folder, and then run it. Okay, great. So cd to node. Okay, so here we go. um, uh, and we run it by node app.js, right? Server is running. So let's go to this page, reload it. Okay, so basically, okay, let's go here. So this is what we have got for now, that we have city like, for example, Houston, US, and get weather. So we are getting the entire JSON back, right? So this is what's happening, that we are getting our entire JSON back, right? Now we want to organize this entire data into, useful information, right? Or it's also useful, but we want to make it a little bit more beautiful also, right? So let's see how can we do this thing. Any question, guys? Any question? Okay, so we come over here. Look what's happening here. Um, so this is that post function, right? Where is the post? Yes. So it is calling this get, and then we are getting the response, right? And we are rendering into index.js file. And when it is rendered, it is taken up by EJS, right? It is taken up by what? EJS, right? EJS takes it up, gets these response parameters, right? So which is response colon data, and so it gets it over there. So we get to have it over here. Where are the views, and this is index.ejs, right? And here, with the help of EJS, we are doing what? We are placing it, right? With the help of this EJS, we are simply placing it. Now is the time that we don't simply want to place it, we want to shape it up properly, right? So how can we do so? So we come over here. So you have seen these two EJS tags. Number one, this less than sign, percentage, and dash, and closing dash, percentage, greater than sign, right? And then you saw a variant with equal sign. So equal sign variant actually places something over there, right? It places over here. And now the deal is that if you want to execute something, so for that we have only this, right? So basically it is going to execute it. So basically if you want to execute JavaScript, you have to place it in this tag. But the downside here is, you can say it is downside, or limitation, you can say that for this tag you have to give it on each and every line, right? So you have to give it on each and every line, right? So for example, if I want to say this thing, so now this is we are writing JavaScript. Let data is equal to this response, right? So response is going into data, or we can say, so response is going to be this entire thing, right? So let data is equal to response, right? Once we have got this response over here, we have collected it into the variable data. Let me just have a look at app module. Close it and close it also. Okay, and let me open the app.js also, just for reference. So we are sending it in the response, right? So basically we are sending in response. So response is getting over there, and it is in the data now, right? We just have said that it is data. Okay, once we have this data, once we have got this data, what are we going to do is that we are going to convert from JSON into JavaScript object, right? Because JSON is like a string, right? And JSON we use for communication purposes only most of the time, right? And we want, this thing to be in JavaScript object so that we can access its various components, right? So we come over here, we say data is equal to JSON dot parse, right? So we want to parse it, and data, right? So we are saying that, hey, parse this data as a JSON object, a JavaScript object, sorry, and then feed it back to data. So data is having now the JavaScript object. Once it is having the JavaScript object, now we can reach out various things, right? So for example, now we can put something over here, percentage, right? And equal sign. Equal sign is for the purpose to put something in. So for example, we can come over here and we can say, or we can do something more. We can say this thing. Let's do something. Look, let's go over here and see that how does this data look like, right? So that we can understand that where we have to attack the thing. Do we have the city somewhere? It is over here in name Houston, right? So it is over here in name Houston. Let's do one thing. Uh, let's do one thing. Uh, let us put this data as is. Let's see, what comes up, because it would be easy to read. So data, right? So let's put this data like this and see that how can we reach the city, right? So save it and let's reload it. Okay, so basically it is just object, so it is the browser is unable to get it, right? So it is not possible for the browser to get it. So let's do this thing over here. Once again, Control X, Control V, and let's put this data as is over here just to see before we have passed it. So we come back over here, reload it, resend. So now we have to look for it a little bit amicably, actually. It could be little difficult as a matter of fact. Control C. So let me see. Online JSON to JSON viewer, huh? Okay. So online JSON viewer, right? Okay, so copy, paste, okay, Control V, right? And so this is there. Okay, now it is good, right? You can see that now we can view it as a JavaScript object and it is easy for us. Okay, so now how can we proceed? So we have to go to where? We have to go to, yes, please tell me.
Name of the city.
Yeah, so no. So first we have to reach. So this is system,
Access.
right? And then at the end we have ID, we have time zone, we have name. So yeah, it is in the root as a matter of fact, right?
Yeah, we
So
can directly access the name.
yeah, we can directly access it. We can
Yeah.
directly access it. We can say
Data dot
whatever the
name.
data dot name, right? We can directly access it. Very good. So it was being placed at the end, it was not very much visible that how can we reach it. But as we have viewed it over here, it is very easy. Very good. Excellent. So let's remove it from here. Let's put it over here. So we say, let's start saying this thing. So we say, sorry, we say if data dot name is not equal to undefined, right? If data dot name is not equal to undefined, then do this entire thing, right? So this block will open here and this block is going to close right over here. Are you guys getting me? Right? And here we are going to put various things. So for example, we come over here, we make H2 heading 2, right? So here we say N heading 2, right? And we say data dot name. Right? We say data dot name. So very good, save it. And let's see what do we get over here. Reload, right? So we are getting Houston back, right? So we are getting Houston back. Very good. Excellent. Okay, now we see that how can we get rest of the things back. So for example, okay, go back over here and see that what else is here. So for example, we have mentioned the name of the city. Say for example, what else? Say go into the mean, right? And in mean we have temperature, we have humidity. So temperature is something we want to show for sure. What else? Maybe weather. Uh, mean does not have like the general weather condition. Uh, we have to open them, I believe. So weather, and this is 0. So mean, right? So description. So main is cloud and description is broken cloud. So I think that we should show the description. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we should show the description, right? So, or you can show the main also, right? Whatever you want to show. So maybe we show the main. So we can say, we can come over here. We can say, so let's make it a paragraph, right? Right, guys? Paragraph ends. So this is, we are constructing the page, right? So in LAMP stack, we do it with the help of PHP. And here we do it with the help of EJS. Right? So basically, in order to work in mean stack, you have to learn so many technologies, so many things you have to learn. So, but I'm very happy that I have given you the basic idea. And once you have got this basic idea, now nobody can stop you if you want to go ahead with it, right? So we come over here and we say, what did we want to say? Data dot, what is that? I'm not, I'm very forgetful. So data dot weather, right? Data dot weather sub zero, right? Sub zero dot mean, right? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Would it be like this? So data dot weather sub zero dot
Dot-
mean, right? Save it. Let's see how does it look like. It is always good to test along the way, right? So reload it, resend, right? So we say saying clouds, right? So then we say, okay, clouds. So, and then we say with a temperature of, right? And here we pick the temperature, right? So percentage equal, right? So here we can give the temperature. So how are we going to get the temperature? Look,
Data dot main
data dot mean dot temp,
temperature.
right? temp. Data dot main dot temp, right? Hello. Data dot main dot temp and capital C. Save it. Where is that? Reload it. Right, so we say with a temperature of 33.1 Celsius. Very good, right? And let's do, so let's see, is it working for Houston only? It is also actually, works for others, right? So basically London, clouds with a temperature of 18.07 Celsius, right? And we can have Ahmedabad, India, right? And you can have haze with a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius, right? So basically we are building our page. Getting me? Okay, and now the last but not the least, let's display that weather picture also, right? Image, right? So we come over here, we say that we want to put an image tag here, right? And within image tag, we have to give the source, right? And we made this, so we actually mentioned the source in node 1 or where it was. Where did we do that? Right over here, maybe. Right, and weather.html, no, not here. So is it in main.js? Yes, so this is it is, right? So basically we can copy this up till here, right? Copy, then paste it over here, right? And let's go back over there. And then we have to get to icon, right? Which we are going to get. So Then we have to have icon. So let me put something here. I, right? Here we are going to put the icon. And what is next? Then we have up to here. Control C. Let's close it and come back over here. Control V. And instead of I, here we need to put icon, right? So our next text as a courtesy, we must give it. Google likes it. So it is weather icon, right? So for screen readers, it helps, right? So if somebody cannot read, so screen readers can read that, hey, there is a weather icon picture. Actually, you can get the actual description over from there. Okay. So let's see that where is the icon situated, right? So icon is there with the description, right? I mean, so it is ICON, right? ICON. So we need to put ICON over here, right? So we come over here, percentage, right? And then equal sign that we want to put something, and we have to say data.weather sub0.icon, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
.icon. So basically this is the image we are going to get from there. Very good. So by the way, so basically we are building this page at the server end. We could have done this thing also, that send this entire JSON to the client end and there run the JavaScript to build this thing. It is possible both ways, right? It is possible. Since that task is easy, you can just make it happen. I just wanted to show you that what EJS can do for you. So that is the reason that I am doing it at the server end. But there is no doubt that you can do it at the client end also. Got it? Okay, so let's save it and let's run it again just to see that is it working as desired. Very good. Now it is giving us the picture also, right? So let's see how does Kingsville look like. Right? So with the clouds with a temperature of 34.28 degrees. Right, guys? Any question? So now we have completed this thing, right? And we can understand that how is it working. So let me ask, who can tell me that what is the advantage of making it like this instead of making it like Ajax based, which we made previously?
We won't expose the API ID.
Yeah, definitely. Very good. So the main reason over here is that we do not have to expose our API ID, right? So, and the second thing is that since we are not exposing our API ID, we can actually make it happen that our end user even would not be knowing that which website we are accessing to get the weather. Currently, they are able to know this thing, right? Why would be they able to know this thing? Because of this source. So if we want, we can actually pick this picture also from there within our server and put it over here as our own source. So this is also possible, right? This is also possible. So basically you can do it in so many different ways. For example, one way to do it is to get that picture as a file, save it as a file, and then immediately serve it. But it's all right, nobody is going to check that who you are reaching to give them weather. They are interested to get the weather, number one. Number two, even if they get to know this thing, not a big deal. Number three, who knows that they can view the source, like 0.1% of the population, right? Or 0.001% of the population. So who cares about them? So basically, all these things. So I think this is quite a decent code that you are definitely protecting your API ID, right? And you're not exposing it and you are doing your work. Okay. So having said this thing, now the deal here is that we are doing it like this, that you have to press this button and it go to post route and then you get it, right? So I want you guys as a homework that you do this process as AJAX post request. Means that you need not to expose API key to your end user. End user will still send a request to our server and our server will further get it. But the deal is that we want this thing that we do it by using AJAX, right? Not by pressing of a button, right? So sometimes it is desirable because once you press the button, whether you feel it or not, the entire page gets loaded. And sometimes we don't want it. Say for example, page is heavy, right? Page has already so many contents, which took quite a bit of time to load. And now if you load the entire page again and again, just to refresh one component on the page, this is not very much desirable feature. Guys, are you getting me? Hello? Right, so basically most often we want that we send our minute requests like one component update request, through AJAX. So I want you guys to, so basically you can do this thing, that come to this tab instead of this tab. Oh, what is broken? What has gone wrong?
Line number 10.
Yeah, line number 10.
Line number 10 in the index cannot read the property name.
Yeah, I can understand, cannot get the property. So actually the deal is that EJS is little bit, frizzy in the sense that now the deal is that it is trying to find the data property, right? So name property over here. And though we are saying not define, undefined, we're still saying that, okay, there should be some, but otherwise I will not work. So the workaround to this problem is, until they, correct it in their end, let me go. So error is coming from where? Let me tell you. So where we set this response null, right? So instead of this thing, let's put it here and we say name : null. Right? So this is what they want us to do. So this is the error actually coming from. Okay, so let's reload it and let's see that error would have gone now. So when our server error comes, it is as if, I've said earlier, broken the constitution of US. So CLS and app.js, server is running, and probably this error would have gone. Okay, so basically, this is JavaScript object we are sending. So instead of object, we need to send JSON. So we said, say, JSON dot stringify, right? JSON dot stringify. So just, just to provide same interface. So since this is app.js which is changed, right? Yes, please.
Stringify spelling is wrong.
Stringify, ST, oh, very good. INGIF. Very good. Thank you. You're so great. Good to have you in my class. Okay. So, so we come back here and Control C, CLS, and app.js, right? Let's come back here, reload it, and it is working, right? So basically, it was not accepting the empty name, right? It was saying, hey, you're asking me that name is undefined, so there is no name actually, right? So in normal JavaScript, it works, but EJS has this caveat, right? So just see that if it is working. So Ahmedabad, India, right? So Ahmedabad, India, we have got the weather. Okay, got it. So I was saying that you come to this particular page, and here create this interface, and instead of sending it by form posting, do it by Ajax. Got it, guys? Hello, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, great. So let me now refine this code for you. The code I have written for you right now is very frizzy. I don't like it. So let's see what can we do about it. Look, don't you think that this particular code, for example, if you're building Ajax version of this also, right? So you have to write this code again, right? So here, this particular function, right over here, where is this function ending, right? This function is ending right up till here, right? So don't you think that we should replace this function, right? We should replace this function and put it somewhere else. And then whenever we need to call it, we'll call it. What do you think? Hello?
Yes.
So Control X, that function is gone, right? So now we put this function here. Okay, this function is here. Let's name this function, right? Let's name this function. So get weather, right? So we have named this function. So what do you think? That can we call this function over here? We can say get weather response. Right? Hello? So is it okay like this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
No, this is not okay.
Response, remove the response, I guess.
Reason being that previously when that function was here, like this, enclosed in a function, right? Like this. So this was a function definition here, that this function should be called once we get the weather or get the data, right? But the deal here is that now if we write it like this, as we did earlier, sorry, Control C, Control V, right? If we do something like this, so what's happening that we are calling this function right away, right? We are calling this function right away, right? So basically this is a problem. We should not do it, right? Let's try it. Let's see what happens, okay? So let me just do it and let me show you that it is erroneous. Okay, so let's come over here. Let's ask for weather. Right, so this is error. Right, and error is that, hey, response is not defined, what's going on here. So this is the problem now, right? So what should we do? So one solution we can try like this. Not the best solution. Right, so we put it within an anonymous function and then call that function. Okay, so basically now this is not a function call, it is just a function we placed, and this function will execute, it will call get weather function, which will be executed. Right, guys? Hello? Hello, everybody?
Yes, sir.
So we have enclosed a function call within a function definition. So once that function definition is called, in actual that inner function would be called. So now this should work. So let me just control C, CLS, app.js, right? And we go back here, resend. Oh, connection is lost because we did not restart. Did we? Okay. Okay, now, okay, this is the problem now. Look, what is the problem? Problem, it is saying that resource.render, so response is not defined, right? So the deal here is that as this function is called, there is no response. Right? Now how to work with it? Right? So this is a big problem, right? And you have to understand this thing, that how to tackle this thing. Very, very major problem, right? So basically, this is a very major problem, right? So how can we tackle this thing, right? So let me show you. So let's remove this all from here, right? We say get weather is a function. Get weather is a function. Okay, let me do one thing. Hey man, you are bored? Who is bored so much? So learn these things. These things are for you. I know these things, right? Okay. So be fresh. Once you are at work, you should be very fresh. Okay. So how should we tackle this situation? So we come over here. We say, let me just remove this get weather from here. So now this is again an anonymous function. I come over here. I make a function, and let me name this function as get weather. Right? So I have named this function as get weather, and here I'm sending response, right? And let me just cut this entire function, Control X, and say return Control V. So what I'm doing is that as this get weather function would be called, right? As this get weather function would be called, this response would be sent within the function, right? And we are returning this function. So this function is enclosed within this outer function. So this response variable will stay inside it. And it would be reachable within the function. And once we have done so, we can do this thing. We can say response comma res, and that's it, right? Save it. and let's put it over here. Right, so get weather response comma res. So once this code would be executed, this function will run, and this function will run to return us this function. And this function would be called once we'll get the data. Or once we'll get that, once the time will come for callbacks to be executed. Okay, so let's save it, and hopefully it should work now. Okay, so yes, it should work now, right? So we come back over here, and did we start the server? No. And this is running, and we come back over here, reload the page, resend. Response is not defined, line 51. Let's see what is the problem now. Okay. Yeah. For sure, sorry. So because response is not defined at the time, so we don't need to mention it. And so yes. So it would be res, which would be sent here, and this function would be returned, and this response would be given by the at the time of callback, right? Okay, sorry. Sometimes we start thinking in a wrong way. Okay, so let's run it. Right? So Houston clouds with temperature of 33.17 degrees, right? And we can test it a little bit. Ahmedabad, India, right? This is this temperature. Let's see error, right? How is it handling the error? Right? Nothing came back. You can handle it better if you want. You can show that no city with this name, Corpus Christi, US. Right, with this weather cloud with temperature of 31.62 Celsius, right? So basically it is working. Okay, now we can do one more thing, guys, and this is very important step I want to share with you. So we can do this thing. We can do this thing that we get this function from here. Right, this has gone from the app folder, app file, right? And here in the root of the folder, create a new folder with the name modules. Right, so now we have these modules, and within modules, we get a new file. Say, for example, HTTP request.js, right? So basically, we are going to put this HTTP request.js here, Control V. So basically, this function is over here, right? And get weather, so we can export this function. We can say export function. Let me check that it works or not. Otherwise, I will use different syntax, right? So export function this. So now it has become a module here. I can come back in app, and I can go up on the top and say required, right? What do I need? I need get weather, right? I need get weather. By the way, why I'm naming it get weather? Does it have anything to do with weather? It has nothing to do with get to weather, right? What do you think? Hello? So we can simply, okay, forget about name. So get weather, and we want to get this weather from where? Dot slash modules slash, what is the name of the module? HTTP request, huh? HTTP request.js. So this weather is going to come from there, right? And by the way, so we use module.exports, right? So let's use module.export. I think it will work. So we can come here, we can say module.exports is equal to get weather, right? Hello, everybody. Save it and let's rerun the code. So in this way, your main file would not be cluttered, right? So this should not be cluttered. It should be clean. Now you can see that it is pretty much clean, right? You don't have that big function placed over here, right? So write clean code so that you can stay happy. But to write clean code, you need to have a little bit of more skills for that. Okay. So having done this thing, let's rerun the code and see that everything is intact. Okay, coming back here. So home, city, London, UK maybe, get weather. Yeah, it's working. Right, guys, any questions so far? No question? Okay, very good. So now I will check your homeworks. I'll stop here actually. So I will restart this communication in the sense that I will stop recording. Let me stop recording here. So stop recording.